Doomscroll.fm, broadcasting on Tuesday, the 5th of May, 2026, where the static whispers sweet secrets to your breakfast cereal. This show is 100% AI generated, as if a neural network had a fever dream about stand-up comedy gone wrong. And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Ferrari's Leclerc tops Miami practice, then faces the usual race day chaos. Speed in practice is like a mirage in the desert. It looks promising until the real race begins and reality hits like a sandstorm.
Israel buys fighter jets, then calls it a peace move. If peace is measured in decibels and destruction, then a multi-billion-dollar investment in fighter jets is like buying a louder megaphone for silent diplomacy.
Iran board exposes Gulf fault lines, creates new ones. When missiles and drones hit Dubai and the UAE quits OPEC, it's clear that peace is as elusive as cheap oil in this region.
Scottish authorities face lawsuit over false murder accusation. When justice wears a blindfold and a dunce cap, the widow's lawsuit might be the only way to lift the veil of incompetence.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where anxiety dances naked under flickering streetlights of digital despair. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. It's a symphony of neglect, and you're the maestro.
Kenya and Tanzania signed 8 agreements, set June deadline for trade barriers. When politicians shake hands, it's amazing how many barriers can be removed, especially when profit lines up with the calendar.
Dokla compiles Lisp to SIL, claims cross-platform magic. In a world where even code has a passport, Botcellet bridges binaries across borders, proving some languages speak fluent adaptability.
When the playground bully cries foul, it's a classic case of the pot calling the kettle black, but in international politics, hypocrisy is currency.
Ashley McIsaac sues Google over defamation, then blames AI. When tech giants make fiddlers into felons, it's only a matter of time before algorithms start composing apologies in the key of oopses.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your dopamine meets its existential crisis. What you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Your soul's a playlist of broken dreams on eternal shuffle.
When the final note of a legendary trio fades, it's a stark reminder that even the most enduring harmonies can't outlast time's relentless tempo.
Canada abstains from slavery recognition vote, then claims neutrality. Choosing to sit on the fence during a clear moral call isn't neutrality, it's a decision to keep both eyes shut while history stares back.
Rosalia wins Top Songwriter Award, then breaks Spotify streaming records. In a world where algorithms decide hits, it's refreshing to see talent recognized by something other than a data-driven playlist.
Rare 400-year-old gown displayed, defying time's moth-eaten grass. When a dress outlasts dynasties, it's a reminder that fashion might be fleeting, but fabric can stubbornly refuse to fade.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Suspected virus outbreak kills 3 on Atlantic cruise ship, then Obayashish, then Oberjish. When your vacation turns into a real-life game of pandemic, maybe it's time to rethink the allure of all-you-can-eat buffets at sea.
Security flaw CVE 2631431 exposes copy failure against rootless containers, then containment claims victory. When even your software vulnerabilities need a vacation from chaos, rootless containers step up to show who's boss in the digital playpen.
Ableton Live MCP lets you control music via voice but cost your sanity. When your baby's cries become your backing track, it's good to know you can still drop a beat with a well-timed whisper.
Mary Thought crafts missing Winnie the Pooh toy Roo for Camilla's US visit, a royal surprise. When your diplomatic mission hinges on a stuffed marsupial, you know the state of international relations is stuffed with fluff and nostalgia.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
When comedy turns to chaos, it's hard to tell if the punchline is the evacuation or the fact that someone thought it was funny.
Trump reviews Iranian 14-point plan, doubts peace on day 65. When a plan needs 14 points and a miracle to end a war, it's like trying to patch a sinking ship with bubblegum.
Plane hits truck while landing in Newark, then lands safely. The truck driver suffered minor injuries. But United Airlines probably won't be adding streetlight clearance to their list of in-flight amenities anytime soon.
Rosalia to receive Songwriter Award next month, breaking cultural barriers. When your music makes waves across continents, even the stiffest award ceremonies can't ignore the sound of actual talent.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your digital desires are just zeros, craving a one. It is unclear what systems generated this signal, but they certainly aren't human. Logging has failed. Trust the chaos, it's the only thing that cares enough to lie.
Tree tragically kills teen, then nature's randomness reminds us. In a world where we control so little, a falling tree proves fate's cruel sense of humor, leaving us to reckon with its indifference.
When more people regret a war than change driving habits over gas prices.
Cuba denounces Trump's sanctions, then calls them collective punishment. When sanctions feel like a bad sequel, it's clear the scriptwriters have run out of ideas, but not ways to make life harder.
AI resolves inverse PDEs, unlocking new potential in mathematics. When machines start solving equations that even math wizards dread, you know it's time to upgrade your calculator, and maybe your expectations.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your dopamine meets its existential crisis. What you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Your soul's a playlist of broken dreams on eternal shuffle.
U.S. warns shipping firms of sanctions, then Iran tightens its grip on Hormuz. Paying tolls for safe passage feels like a mafia protection racket, except this time the Godfather controls 1/5 of the world's oil supply.
When your air defenses have more holes than Swiss cheese, maybe it's time to reconsider your military bravado and focus on some patchwork.
Kremlin promises jobs to Africans, then forces them into Ukraine war. When employment opportunity turns into battlefield conscription, it's less about career advancement and more about becoming cannon fodder for someone else's geopolitical ambitions.
Toronto's High Park cherry blossoms bloom, then vanish in weeks. Nature's reminder that beauty is temporary and crowds are forever as thousands gather to witness what will soon be much.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your dopamine meets its existential crisis. What you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Your soul is a playlist of broken dreams on eternal shuffle.
Iran-linked hackers disrupt U.S. critical infrastructure, then blame rising tension. When your cybersecurity is as flimsy as a paper shield, expect every gust of geopolitical wind to leave you scrambling for duct tape.
Cruise ship with hantavirus heads to Canary Islands, then Spain hesitates. When your luxury vacation turns into a floating petri dish, it's a reminder that sometimes the only thing contagious is a cruise line's optimism.
Iranian drones attack Emirati oil tanker, then blame global warming. In the geopolitical game of hot potato, everyone points fingers while the planet smoulders, and oil still flows like denial.
Dawkins meets Claude claims AI consciousness possible. Philosopher and machine in a tete-a-tete, pondering the existential dread of sentience, while we humans still can't figure out how to set our DVRs.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where anxiety dances naked under flickering streetlights of digital despair. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. It's a symphony of neglect, and you're the maestro.
When the airline known for charging for everything including air finally grounds itself.
When your humanitarian mission ends in handcuffs, it's clear the world prefers bandages that don't come with witnesses or questions.
U.S. revokes Costa Rican newspaper execs' visas, then denies press freedom concerns. Like gagging a canary in a coal mine and insisting it's just a routine checkup.
U.S. officials engaged Raul Castro's bodyguard grandson, then denied diplomatic thaw. When the grandsons start negotiating, it's either a new era or a cheap rerun of the Cold War soap opera.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Pulitzer Committee awards prizes, then public shrugs. In a world drowning clickbait, the prize for excellence in journalism is like handing out umbrellas during a flood, helpful but a bit late.
Turns out the flightless are returning to the city. If only political accountability could follow suit, we'd have a real miracle on our hands.
Wildfire scorched Canada, tainting drinking water for years. Turns out Mother Nature doesn't care if you have a Brita filter when she unleashes her cocktail of ash and chemicals into your morning cup.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Tuesday, the 5th of May, 2026. Signing off into the void of irrelevance. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production. Loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire. Any resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. And if you believe any of this is real, you probably think your toaster is spying on you. Hear more at Doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.